Hey, good morning again. This is Gary Fultz reporting December 12th. A little update in the market. It usually is it's really important to determine, but let's go over this in detail so we get a little bit of understanding. Sometimes you're in a trade and you get knocked out or you take a loss or give me some of your profits. You know, very small nuances. Okay? Well, this is the gold chart here, and this chart here shows us that the market has. This is a classic example of vertical absorption. You get high end closes on the right hand side of the market. Now it also looks like a shortening of thrust, right? Because the range are smaller. Okay, range are smaller. Okay, so because the range are smaller, that's okay. The closes are high mid range. It's classic vertical absorption, and we have markup. Now, if we put the volume in, see what that is, that's going to be important. We see the absorption is increasing volume as the market's going higher. That's what we like to see. Now, something else happened. We get a market that's bullishness, high and close. But then we get another chart here where the volume increases and the range is smaller. Now, even though that's an SOT and vertical absorption, which about maybe let's say in my mind about 80% works. In this case, this market that shows like vertical absorption here, it was actually a shortening of thrust that broke. Okay, you're going to get that. For the most part, you are going to move it to the upside. In a case like this, you got to move it to the downside. That may mean because the daily chart has resistance, or because some news item has it. So you know that this is a long liquidation. If I go to daily quickly, okay, you will see this upthrust move here was close to this. So the fact that it upthrusted in that area, I'm showing the thrust on the 6-minute chart, is because it got close to the daily resistance. Okay, so this is why you have to look at time frames, because this daily gold shows that you'd have to liquidate your position at around this 438 level, 440 level, which I showed you the chart earlier today. Okay, so in this case, we got to like maybe $8 on the high, which is a lot in the sense in short term. But the fact that you're getting into an area of resistance, it's likely that you're going to get some type of reaction back to the downside, because the daily chart, the first retest of the daily, is probably what's going to hold, right? This first retest is probably going to hold. So it's okay to hold on to the 60-minute chart, thinking absorption, get caught with it. But you got to be out of the markets, because on that 60-minute absorption chart, we still have about $8 to go. So it got truncated a little bit to the point to where it became a situation where the markets could have gone up here, upthrusted, or a bit higher, and then broke. But in this chart, vertical absorption in that regard failed, and you wouldn't know it failed until you're in it. But how do you prevent that? You prevent that by being long at the area down here, and your stop is right into that thing. So even though you take the loss in that particular mark-up phase, you should have been long enough well before that market ever got to the point where it got overbought and sold off. So vertical absorption are high-end closes, and then it begins to slowly mark up high-end closes. They also look like shorting your thrust bars, but they're only shorting your thrust bars when they get selling or supply into the markets. Otherwise, the vertical absorption bars to go higher. And we generally tell by the close of the bars. If they're low-end close, that's negative. There's no set wyckoff rule or paradigm that tells you that. It's based on experience that most markets that test this first time up fail. And if it goes back up the third or fourth time it goes, they'll probably absorb to go higher. Okay, but this was the first retest of an area of resistance in a market that's been strong. And it stands to reason that the market may just correctly consolidate at lower levels, which this market may do. Okay, weekends are very vulnerable people. So the daily chart and the 60-minute chart have different agendas per se as far as with the resistances, but nevertheless, they both act according to each other. So that's a thing on 6 minute goals.